Hey, Todd, how many gloves do you usually bring on a trip?
I bring 2.
Okay. Well, I pack 3.
Okay.
One pair to lose, one pair to panic about losing, and then the last pair I usually find stuffed somewhere inside my saddlebag next to a melted protein bar and the map from our 2018 Lake Michigan Circle Tour. Our goal at Best Motorcycle Roads is to make your next motorcycle trip the best it can be. The bottom line is, before your next motorcycle trip, go out in your garage and ask yourself this: would I be wanting to wear this gear if I hit the pavement today?
Yeah.
And we're gonna, just get good gear. Dang it.
Yeah.
So we're doing a gear check today. What to wear before you roll out on your next motorcycle trip? What did you wear out on the last motorcycle trip? What did you forget at the Dairy Queen in Saskatoon?
All right.
So as you start to plan your trip, like we said in the bottom line, let's just take inventory of the gear. I think sometimes I lose it, sometimes I break it, forgot that I broke it, or wore it out, and then sometimes I just forget where I put it anymore.
Yeah, and misplace it when you
Then
get
I
home.
buy 2 more, and then when we get back, I find the rest of them.
Right.
But really what we're going to do is just walk back through what we wear, why we wear it, what's kind of worth rethinking as we get ready for the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought we'd start at the top. Helmet and eye protection.
All right.
So we pretty much only wear modular helmets now. I mean, I think I've had one full face helmet, and I think after the first trip that I took with it, and I sneezed one time in it, that was enough.
Good point. Yeah, I think I had not a half helmet, that's like a 3/4
Sure.
helmet really early on, but
Uh-huh.
it was a hand-me-down. When I bought my first helmet, I went right to modular.
Yeah.
Just because someone suggested it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've never done anything else. I've had 4, I think, in the time. But
And we kind of use those because it's convenience, it's comfortable, and then in the early days before we had full on communicators, it's really difficult when you stop at a stop sign to talk to someone.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we did it. But
Mhm.
I think you and I especially bonus, when it gets warm and you pull into town now, especially like some of you guys that have a fixed windshield.
Mhm.
It gets really hot when you get into town. Like it's really warm.
Absolutely, and that's when I generally flip mine up as
Right.
well. I just like having that full wind on my face, especially when you're slow and in town.
Right.
Yeah, and I do a big windshield in front of me, and yeah, I need some.
Because
air
your
at that point.
Goldwing just has a fixed windshield. I mean, relatively fixed. meaning that
Relatively
you can't
fixed.
Open it while you're
Yeah, it
rolling
does have
over.
the vent on the front that I can open up, but that only gives you so much.
And so modular helmets are really kind of the Swiss Army knife. Really, I mean, it's like, and if you guys are also usually carrying coffee or water,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it makes it easier to get something to drink
Mhm.
if you want to have a snack. And then you don't
Yeah.
sound like Darth Vader when you're stopping at the
Yeah.
hello Todd.
Right.
You just flip it up.
I can't hear you.
Right?
Yeah.
And then a lot of the modulars now also come with sun visor options that you have on yours, I think. So you kind of have like
Yeah.
a clear face comes with most of them.
Yeah.
And then they have like a flip down sunglasses. What do
Yeah,
you call it? Sun visor?
It's a sun visor that's like built into the top of the helmet, and there's a little slider at the top you
Okay.
can push, and it comes down. It kind of looks like what I would consider something you would like the Air Force might have.
Yeah.
That would come down like in real bright sun.
Is this where you cue the Top Gun music?
The Top Gun music, that's right. But it's pretty dark,
Yeah.
and the only time I would really use it if I'm like staring directly into the sun. Outside of that, I just prefer sunglasses.
Yeah.
And I don't like real dark sunglasses. I kind of like a
A light.
light tint, yeah.
So that is definitely an option. It's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
What I generally do is I almost every time replace my face shield with either like a chrome mirrored one or a tinted one.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say 85% of the time we're riding in the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really like that. Now, if I could have my ideal scenario, I wish, because what they don't sell is the replacement sun visors, the Top Gun visor. Because
Right.
if I had my ideal situation, I'd have a tinted shield, and then I'd flip up, and when I bring that thing down, I'd like to have a yellow.
Oh, that'd be nice for night
Because
riding.
it is a little bit nicer at night riding.
Yeah.
Then again, I have huge honking lights on mine, and even at night, it feels like it's day. But
True.
I've found that like so many, and if we ride at night, which is very rare, I'll just flip that up, flip the face shield up, just the visor up, and I can see fine, and if it's cold or rainy,
and you will have your glasses on anyway,
and that's
and a
just,
windshield in front of that.
well,
so.
I usually ride with contacts.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the only issue that I have, if you have a big head like mine, when I flip that sun visor down, I mean it touches my nose, like it's that close.
Yeah.
So I would say just test your helmet. There's as many different helmets as there are people, and there's kind of two groups of helmets. If you're looking, if your helmet doesn't seem to fit right, do some research. And there's round heads, and they call them oval heads.
Yeah.
And I think that's the differences, and you kind of. That's kind of the two different shapes they make helmets in.
Yeah, the shell itself
is made as a circle or it's made in an
oval shape. Yeah,
and you kind of have to check that because that matters. And I mean, you can spend a lot of money on a helmet, and they are definitely better quality. I would say the more money you spend, the better the sound reduction is.
Yes.
But even in the most expensive, I've had very expensive helmets, a Schuberth, Shoei. I still enjoy using my ear plugs, and so I think it's kind of a wash. Like if you really are into it, they're really nice. I mean, the nicer helmets are very nice, and usually you have a few more sizing options with them. Like with the higher end helmets, you get the kind of factory foam, but like if it's a little tight, they will send you a smaller foam.
Oh, nice.
But you pay for it. I mean, it's probably a $400 to $500 difference between your midline and your high end. So I mean, not quite twice, but close.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've used any. How do you feel about the helmets that have some of the built-in electronics now? That the
I mean that is really really popular right now. And my only issue with them, I think it makes so much sense because it's simple. There's two things. One of the guys we ride with has that. He has a Shoei Neotech 2. Great helmet, super quiet, nice. The buttons are harder to touch with gloves, so I think that's a little bit of an issue. And then there's one other thing that I just can't get over, and probably why I won't do it, is you cannot charge the Senna or the unit when you're riding.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like if you have the built-in electronics helmets, at least the Senna ones right now, when you plug into it, it'll turn off the unit and charge it. So now with the Senna units that are attached to the side, now I don't know this for a fact about the brand new 60s, but the 50s on down, I carry a small battery that has a long cord that if we get, a long day and the battery dies, you can plug that in while it's on.
I have, yeah.
Which is huge. I mean,
we've
both done it. So.
Yeah, I've had to do that. So it's not that you can't access the port to charge, it's just it turns it off. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and then we didn't talk also, and we were talking about this a little bit before the podcast, but we didn't talk about the pin shield. So once in a while, you'll see your face shield has two plastic-looking pins kind of right outside your peripheral, and what those are is for what they call a pin shield. And the pin shield is a thinner piece of plastic inner shield that has almost like a bead of silicone around it, and you bend it in there and pops in there. And what that does. Like if you're riding on a cooler, rainy day, sometimes you'll get a little condensation fog built up. This will actually prevent that from happening because it doesn't let that moisture get inside that inner, kind of insulated area.
So I'm going to ask a dumb question.
Yeah.
How new is this technology? I've never owned a pin lock shield.
Well, let's see. My first helmet had it in it.
So I'm just not.
It's really old.
Okay,
In
I'm
fact,
just not
if
looking
you
for the right
see
thing.
And you might not ever even notice that you had them, and you might not notice sometimes they have little holes that you don't even see that are for the pin lock that you can put them in. The pin lock's on the inside of the helmet, not on the outside. So
never owned one.
Yeah,
it's
kind of cool.
I should get one.
And I've never looked to see if there's different. I don't know if they make tinted pin locks because that might solve some of the issue too. But yeah, check it out. So from the helmet moving down, then I thought we'd talk about base layers. So there's two basic kinds of base layers. There's really just moisture or heat containing wicking material. So either cold gear or heat gear. The heat gear will keep you warmer in the colder times. The cold gear will kind of wick away your sweat to kind of cool you down. So those are really nice. We've been using that for years and years.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, I think it really helps.
Yeah.
especially when it's hot.
Yeah. I have got some wicking T-shirts and things like that, but yeah, it is very, very nice to have.
Yeah, and then of course what I've moved to, and you've never tried quite yet, but we have the base layer body armor. So Bond body armor. So it's like a very thin, and they make that also in winter or cold weather riding and warm weather riding. Base layer that has the armor built in, and I'm in love with it. Honestly, I mean, I love it so much. If we're going to be riding for a full day, or if we're going on our trips, this is what I love.
Yeah, and I bought mine over the winter when they had a special going, so mine's still in the package.
Yep.
I haven't broken it out yet, but
and it's very stretchy material.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some comments lately that someone was kind of giving them a hard time. Oh, this is overpriced fishnet. I mean, and it does kind of remind you of that, but it is not overpriced. It's very reasonably priced. In fact, I think it's too cheap. How much Kristen sells it for at Bond Body Armor. Check it out though, because I went riding here about a month ago, and it was a cool day. It was the craziest thing, and I don't know how this works or how this does this, but I wore that gear, and then if we stop, I leave the gear on. It's like it's kind of a joke, really. I usually wear a T-shirt or an undershirt, like still a wicking shirt. Then I put that over the top for my jacket, and then I have like basically long underwear on under my pants. I mean, it's funny. I mean, you kind of call it your tactical pajamas almost.
Right.
But like, nobody really notices that you have it on. But when I stop, I'll unzip the coat part or the jacket, and I'll leave that on the bike, but I'll leave my pants on. But like, it was a cool day. So when I took my overcoat off, I got cold right away, like instantly. And believe it or not, I felt like I took that thing off. I was warmer with it off than with it on. And I don't know if it's because of all those little bitty holes and it's kind of forcing all that air through, but I had a T-shirt on underneath. I felt like I was warmer without the coat on than with it on.
Wow.
And I felt that same way with my mesh jackets in the past. So
Yeah.
I can't talk about Bond body armor enough. I'm in love with it. In fact, I just bought a brand new jacket that has the armor in it. I have their Kevlar flannel coat without armor. So I have a Kevlar, and it's cool. This looks like a cool flannel. Now I bought a black one that's got the armor in it too. So that I'll use just for day rides.
I was just going to say.
Not even day rides, daily, like if I need to run into
daily.
town.
Okay, so then you wouldn't put the Bond
Yeah, because like
under.
if I was going to a meeting or going to something,
makes sense.
I wouldn't want to like completely suit up.
Yep.
So then I'll throw that on just running into town and back. But man,
good.
it's Kevlar, it's armored, it's great. So
Yeah.
one more thing too that I don't know if you've ever worn one, but the neck gaiter is another nice
I haven't
one.
tried that yet.
Again, I mean, my skin is a little sensitive at times, so like I like that because there's no sun gets in there, and it just kind of keeps that. If it's a little cooler, it's nice too. If it's hot, probably a little too much.
Yeah.
But you can. It's just goes on and off. Bugs kind of handles it all. So, yeah. Jackets then next. So you got the base layer on. Now we're going with a jacket over and there's a ton of things you can buy. And you can buy a leather jacket, which is fine. But you really, in my opinion, you want to use a motorcycle jacket, right? Because they have a lot more pockets, and they also have a lot more options to kind of zip up and down and open vents. And like the Bond will have, you can unbutton the sleeve, and then it kind of just opens it up, and then that kind of starts the things entering, and then it'll kind of flow through.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I've got a real heavy leather jacket that I bought initially, when I first started riding, and then, after that, then I bought kind of a motorcycle jacket that had armor built in. That's getting kind of old at this point. Luckily, it still fits. But, I'm kind of looking forward to using the Bond armor and then, getting one.
And other motorcycle jackets too. A lot of times, the motorcycle jacket have a zipper, and then it'll also have snaps.
Yeah.
So that's another option. So like, if you unsnap the snaps, now you're getting air through the zipper, just that little, so then again, that's bringing air in through. And a lot of times there's vents in the back. Sometimes they zip shut, and sometimes you can zip them open. Yeah. And that's just another option for that.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree with the extra pockets on the motorcycle jackets for cell phones
inside,
and eye drops
outside.
and all kinds of stuff that you got to carry with you.
So just different types of uses, trip jackets. I have and what I love about the Bond is that you can pick up a sweatshirt anywhere and you can throw a sweatshirt on, and now you're armored, right? Because the armor's underneath. And then just a daily jacket. So we're not talking about not taking trips today, but that is nice. there are options there. So.
Yeah.
And then going to pants. Now, if you're, again, I mean, I don't hate to beat the drum so many times. If I'm wearing the body armor underpants, then you can wear whatever pants you want to. I like to wear then some thin pants, like almost like a fishing pant.
Oh yeah.
That way they get wet, they get dried quick. But you can also wear shorts then too, and then if it gets really warm. So, but there's still a lot of other options for pants.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to be thinking about is not how hot it is when you're riding, but like what's it going to feel like if you go down?
If you fall, right? And you have some experience.
I
with that,
do.
don't you? Like some gym shorts or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I hit a deer on the bike, and it was one of these quick run down to Jimmy John's, grab a sandwich, come back, and luckily my leg didn't get tore up, but my arm did. But if you go down, you're going down, and it's gonna hurt, and that's also why it's just really, really important, even on the short trips. Most accidents happen close to home, not far from home.
Well, I thought you had some pretty good road rash on your leg.
Yeah, maybe it was both.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. It was luckily no one got seriously injured.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just all in all, pants though, like they make riding jeans that are Kevlar style jeans. They make pants with over pants that have armor in it, and that's what I had for a number of years. I'd wear like a mesh pant that had armor in it. It's just a pain for me. I got tired of it because one, you either have to wear just your underwear and then the mesh pants, which isn't bad, but then you can't really take them off when you get to some place, or you wear shorts underneath and then the armor pants, and that's better, but not or you don't wear anything and then you just take your chances, and that can be good or bad. And so I don't know. There's again, safety first, hopefully. I mean, a lot of people do what they want to do. I mean, it's the same. We always wear helmets. I always want to wear gloves, and I always, I haven't always wore pants, but yeah, I mean, the more I ride, the more I wear more stuff, I think. So it's not that much fun recovering.
It's the older we get, the less we want to fall.
I know.
Because we know it's going to take a lot longer to recover.
That's exactly. Right. So that kind of moves us then on to gloves. And you have to be careful. I mean, so you kind of go, the first thing is, do you want a short glove that kind of maybe doesn't cover your wrists? Or do you want to go traditional, and that would be a gauntlet style glove that's going to give you the highest protection? So motorcycle gloves will have a lot more armor in the knuckles if you have the gauntlet glove there. And then there's also, cold, warm, rain gloves. So you have many different options there. The gauntlet guys are going to lecture you, and they're not wrong. Gauntlets are more protective.
Yeah.
I will almost always wear a motorcycle glove. I usually wear a shorter cuff one. But I'm also always wearing a jacket with a cover over it. So, I'm a little tighter there. But you do have to kind of be careful. I've noticed couple of my pairs of gloves have gotten older. They've stretched out a little bit. And I don't know if I can do a water trick where they'll shrink back down a little bit, but my hands now, they're a little loose. So you really want to be careful about getting a glove that really fits you well. Because if you do want to try to use the touch screens, buttons, grips, you need something that's kind of tight because you're already losing a layer, right? So I know you've used some fingerless gloves at times.
I still have like a pair of leather fingerless gloves that I use because I touch screens, that kind of stuff. But I know like my little Garmin motorcycle specific, that one will work with gloves on, with finger gloves on, so that's fine. And I do have a long, a full pair of gloves that's, used for colder weather and that. But and then if it's going to rain, then I don't have waterproof gloves, but I do carry some like the little medical latex.
That's kind of a tip that we kind of ran into. We were up in Michigan, I remember it, and Steve was riding with us that time, and his hands were freezing. And he ended up accidentally picking up some basically kitchen gloves that time.
Right.
And put them under.
Yeah, food service gloves.
They
right.
were.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
But then we found out, oh my gosh, that really works well.
It works so good.
And it's nice to have in case you're working on the bike too. Then you can put those on. You don't get greasy. I have rain gloves. They're just okay. They're just like anything. They're just okay. And you definitely need at least 2 pairs of gloves because if it does rain, you're gonna get your gloves wet, and they're hard to. They get cold if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So there are also heated gloves. Which are great. They plug in either battery powered or plug into the bike. Those are nice. And then if you're thinking layering, sometimes you get like heated vest too, which is another option. I haven't tried that yet. Don't really ride that much when it's cold. So, it's kind of one of those things. If you're really into it, you're into it. You need it.
Right. I've ridden a couple times when it's been super cold, but luckily it wasn't an all-day ride. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That takes us all the way down to the boots. And for me now, I would say ankle protection is really non-negotiable. I know a lot of people ride with tennis shoes, and the problem you have is ankles. I mean, our friend Chris, he wrecked, and your ankle will tend to get pinned under the bike if you don't have saddlebags. And so when he wrecked his Harley, he did not have saddlebags, so his ankle was under, and that will just basically break your ankle off. On my accident where I hit the deer, I had saddlebags, so I had a really nice gash right where it would have broken my ankle off. But because the bike apexed on those two things, it left enough for the bike to go away. So I would highly, highly recommend at least a 6-inch boot with that ankle protection. I have a Thorogood 6-inch pair of leather boots. They're great. I use them for work boots, and then. But what you really want, and I think this is maybe the problem with yours, right, is you got to be able to be able to be walking with them. Like, and that's the trick. I mean,
it is. And I bought these on a motorcycle website, motorcycle gear website. They were rated pretty well. They're made for motorcycles, but you got to remember that you have to go walking around sometimes. Like you ride to a festival or some sort, and you're just walking, doing a little hike, and the arch support is terrible on them.
Yeah.
My feet just hurt, trying to walk around in these. So it's almost like I have to have those to ride, and then I have to switch to gym shoes when I get somewhere.
Well, and then it's fine if it's just you alone, but then you got to watch the packing as well. A lot of times I'll throw in either sandals or like a pair of like Skechers or something. Hey, dudes.
Yeah, so I'm going to look into these Thorogoods.
Yeah, I love them.
I know you like them a lot.
The only kicker is they're just good old leather boots, and they're good, but they're not rainproof. So then I'd say throw a pair of boot gaiters on, which are highly underrated. And those just fit over the top and kind of just let the rain run past your boot, basically.
And I have those. So
yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Lastly, I would say that we would want to talk about rain gear. We talk about this all the time. So we've tried them all, pretty much. I mean...
Yeah,
and we kind of stuck on.
I like Nelson Rig.
Yeah,
it packs down really small. It has its own little pocket. It has the hood that you can put up so the water doesn't go down your neck. And they make high vis options.
And Harley makes a very similar product, and it's the same. It's light. It works.
Yeah.
Be careful here. I mean, this is kind of the trick where go back to Tom preaching Kristen's Bonato body armor here, but. You do, if you can help it, you want to get something that fits over the top of your armor.
Yeah.
Because you're probably more likely to be in an accident when it's raining than not. And a lot of times, like when I was early riding, my rain gear wasn't big enough to fit over my
armor jacket. Yeah.
And so then I would ditch the jacket, put on the rain gear, and then I'm riding without armor.
Yeah.
So just be careful. If you can get one big enough to fit over, I would. And if you can't, you can't. But really, truly, high vis is really helpful. A lot of times they have reflective material like in the piping as well, which is nice.
It's very
nice.
And
you can really see it. Yeah.
It looks like someone's got lights on.
And then that's also the same time when I always say get some extra. Even if it's small lights, and if you don't want to use them all the time, fine. But man, are they handy? Especially I think yellow when it's raining. It really makes you be able to be seen, not just for you to see more, but you to be seen.
Yeah.
And then we always kind of give our storage tip is keeping the rain gear on the right side of your bike. That way, if you have to switch the rain gear out while you're riding, you can get off the bike, you're on the protected side on the right, and then you can get that rain gear out and get it on without having to be on the traffic side. Because what always happens with me, it's like I'm walking a tightrope or something. The first time I put a pair of pants on, I get them half down, trying to get over the boot, and pretty soon I'm
going backwards
6 ways back, and then you don't want to be stumbling into traffic. So yeah.
That's an important safety tip from Tom.
So, yeah, you don't need all the gear in the world, just the right gear for the ride. Take inventory, check it out, make sure that you're... This is a section we call the toolkit. We share motorcycle gear review, and other riding tips. If we look at tool tips, one of the first things I was thinking about, just we talk about the beginning, we talk about the middle now. Just give yourself a little time. Amazon does get stuff here in 2 days, but like maybe give yourself a week before the next trip. We've got one coming up in a couple weeks here. We should probably take inventory and get some orders in. I know that's my reminder to order the gaiters because my last ones ripped the bottom bungee off. So.
Yeah, and try your stuff on. Make sure there aren't loose flaps and loose.
Make sure you haven't gained sideways before the last trip.
Yeah, good tip there.
Yeah, I think we can show you some links to some modular helmets that we like. We'll probably throw you a link or two about a pin shield, maybe a little information about that. I like eye drops too. I put that on our list for today. They make some really good eye drops, and they actually, I don't know if you've seen these, but they're single-use ones too. So you don't even have to, and you take the top off, and then you can use it. After a day, you get the dusty day or whatever, my eyes get tired, and these are really good. So
that's a great tip.
We're going to give you a link to the Bonds body armor.
Love it. Tactical
pajamas with armor in it. You can sleep in it too if you never know who you're going to get attacked by in the middle of the night. The medical gloves, just good for when you're working on your bike if you have to do something quick or rain. Yeah. And then we'll give you the link to the Nelson rigs. We really like those too. And I'm going to throw one more link in there too, Todd. And I don't think you've used these yet, but I'm a huge fan of these travel boot heaters.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the first time I took them, I was like, well, these don't work at all because all the home ones work with fans. Well, the travel ones don't have a fan. And I was like, well, how's this going to work? It's not going to dry anything out. Well, then I figured out on the second night that if I cover the top of my boot and plug the hole, that then the thing gets really warm after a while. It just heats up and it's just thermal.
Yeah.
And then it warms up that whole entire boot. So I'll just throw a t-shirt over it or a towel or something. Man.
And it doesn't catch on fire, huh?
Nope, not yet. Right. Hopefully I didn't spill gas in my boot.
Right.
Oh, so yeah. Anything else, Todd, that you're thinking on these?
No, I like that. I'm definitely going to find some of the pin shields you've been talking about. I've never had one.
You need to check before you buy a pin shield. Though, make sure your helmet has the pins in it.
Yeah.
On the shield,
so
or else it'll be useless.
Or I can replace that shield.
You could.
Maybe.
You could.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
If you like the podcast today, please like and subscribe or sign up for our BMR Rider Alerts. It's our way to keep you in the loop. And we promise, no spam.
Keep the spirit of adventure alive and remember, bikes, friends, and endless roads, the stories ride forever. Take care.